Miriam and Sandra had been inseparable since childhood. From the time they met in primary school, they were like two halves of the same soul. They did everything together, playing in the dusty streets, braiding each other's hair, and whispering secrets late into the night. They shared dreams of the future, promising to stand by each other's side through every stage of life. And fate seemed to agree. They graduated together, got married just a few months apart, and even moved into the same neighborhood. Their bond only grew stronger when they both started having children. Miriam was blessed with 2 sons, while Sandra had 3 beautiful daughters. Sandra loved her girls, but deep inside, she longed for a son. She watched enviously as Miriam's boys played football with their father, as Miriam's in-laws doted on their grandsons. Meanwhile, Sandra's husband and his family often expressed their disappointment. "A son carries the family name," they reminded her constantly. "A son is the true heir." Despite her longing, she remained hopeful. When both she and Miriam became pregnant at the same time, it felt like destiny. They spent their days shopping for baby clothes, debating names, and planning their children's futures together. Sandra prayed that this time, she would finally have a boy. Then came the fateful night. Both women went into labor almost simultaneously and were admitted to the same hospital. The pain was unbearable, but they encouraged each other, holding hands between contractions. Miriam delivered fast, a healthy baby boy. Her joy was immeasurable. She could already picture her sons growing up together, strong and united. Minutes later, Sandra gave birth. But when the nurse placed the baby in her arms, her heart plummeted. It was a girl. Disbelief turned into devastation. This was her last chance, her last pregnancy. How could this happen again? Then, a dark thought crept into her mind. Miriam had given birth just minutes before her. No one would question anything if she switched the babies now. That night, under the dim hospital lights, Sandra acted. She waited for the nurses to turn away, for Miriam to drift into exhausted sleep. Then, with trembling hands, she exchanged her baby girl for Miriam's son. By the time the nurses returned, they unknowingly placed the wrong babies into the wrong mother's arms. Miriam, still weak, never suspected a thing. She cradled the newborn girl, believing she was hers, while Sandra wept with relief, holding the son she had always dreamed of. 2 years later, Miriam loved her daughter deeply. Though surprised at first to have a girl after 2 boys, she embraced the change, dressing her in pink, tying little bows in her hair, and showering her with love. Sandra, on the other hand, had everything she ever wanted. Or so she thought. But raising a child born from deceit is never easy. Every time she looked into the boy's eyes, she feared the truth might come out. She distanced herself from Miriam, avoiding playdates and meetups. But fate always has a way of revealing the truth. One day, at a birthday party, Miriam watched Sandra's son playing with other children. Something about him tugged at her heart, the way he laughed, the curve of his nose. He reminded her of her father, something none of her other children had. A strange unease settled in her stomach. Later that evening, she confided in her husband. "I don't know why, but I feel a connection to Sandra's boy. It's strange, but I can't shake the feeling." Her husband dismissed it as coincidence, but Miriam couldn't let it go. She decided to get answers. One afternoon, while at Sandra's house, she discreetly took a strand of the boy's hair and sent it for a DNA test, along with a sample from her own daughter. The results arrived a week later. Miriam's hands trembled as she read them. Her daughter wasn't hers. And Sandra's son was actually her biological child. The ground seemed to disappear beneath her feet. Her best friend, her sister in all but blood, had betrayed her in the worst way possible. Fury and heartbreak fueled her as she stormed into Sandra's house. She threw the DNA results onto the table. "Explain this," she demanded, her voice shaking. Sandra's face went pale. She tried to deny it, but Miriam saw the truth in her eyes before she even spoke. I didn't mean to hurt you, Sandra whispered, tears spilling down her cheeks. I couldn't have another girl, Miriam. My husband, my family, they would never have accepted it. Miriam's voice cracked with rage. So you stole my child? You let me believe my own daughter was mine while you raised my son as yours. Sandra fell to her knees. I love him. I love him like my own. But he isn't yours. Miriam sobbed. You stole 2 years from me. 2 years I can never get back. She wasted no time in taking legal action. The truth unraveled in court. Sandra's deception, the falsified hospital records, the missing birth details. When the ruling came, Miriam was awarded full custody of her son. Sandra's crime could not be ignored, and she was sentenced for child abduction. The moment Miriam held her son again, she wept. She wept for the stolen years, for the bond that had been severed but could not begin to heal. Sandra, once her best friend, was now nothing but a painful memory. The betrayal had been deep, but nothing could ever break the love between a mother and her child. And though the scars would remain, Miriam vowed never to let anyone take her son away from her again. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe.